Hello everybody, I'm Victoria and welcome back to my channel. So today I am here with a brand new release from Makeup Revolution because you all know that they are my favourite makeup brand. I thought I'd try out their new teardrop sponge. So basically I'm going to be putting this to the test against my current favourite, which is just this random one I got from Primark. Now if you saw my testing Primark makeup then you'd obviously see me testing this. Ever since then I have loved this sponge. However, we shall see, because we're going to put this one to the test and see if it is as good as my favourite, and if not, if it's better. Does it save product wastage? I mean, who knows? You'll have to watch the video, I guess, guys. I know you're all dying to know, so I'm going to move straight on with the video. So to begin with, I have primed my face. I'm using my favourite combination of primers, and that is the Revolution Ultra Face Base Primer 24-hour makeup protection. This makes my face really matte. And then this one helps to make my face a lot more glowy and awake and brightened, I guess. That is the Flawless Brightening Primer from Barry M. So that is these two, and together they make my face seem really brighter and they make my foundation last so much longer. So I have evenly obviously done both sides to not make one more fair than the other in this test. So first impressions of this sponge are, it is a lot bigger than I expected it to be. I'm not gonna lie, after seeing all the small ones from the Real Techniques? American. After seeing all the Real Techniques one being like this big, I expected it to be really small and actually quite thin, but this is actually quite thick. Like, I didn't realise how thick this was gonna be until I got it. So this is $4.99. So now I've got it open, let's have a little look at this sponge. So it says silicone sponge teardrop shape. Ooh, it's so squidgy. I actually really like the fact that it's quite squidgy. That feels really cool. The foundation I'm going to be using today is the Infallible Total Cover from L'Oreal Paris. This is the full coverage long wear foundation with a weightless feel in the shade 24 because I have had tan on again, so I'm feeling quite tanned. So let's roll with it. I'm going to apply them both directly to the sponge, the exact same amount, and we're going to see which one covers more. I'm going to do one side of my face with this and the other side with this. So let's go from there. That is the amount I've put on there. It's the tiniest little bit. And I'm going to put the same amount on this one. As you can see, they've both got the same amount. If anything, this has actually got slightly less. So let's go in with my normal one and then we can test out the difference with the new one. I have already run out. So I'm going to have to reapply that, and it's actually quite a thin coverage as well, so I'm going to have to apply a little, well, quite a lot more actually, I think. So I'm just going to apply another lot to it. It's about the same amount again, and I'm just going to continue stippling that on my face. So there you go, you can kind of see half of my face. You can't really in the camera. In person you can kind of see it because obviously it's a slightly darker colour than my face. But hey ho. Time for the teardrop. So again, this is just that first little bit of amount. Let's try it and see how far we get. You know what? I can actually already see a difference, which I didn't think I would, because this is quite a thick coverage to say that I used the same, if not less, than that last one. I actually feel like this is applied a lot better. I quite like that actually. So I wasn't expecting too much, I just kind of figured it would be the same, but actually I'm quite enjoying it. So I'm going to go in for a second time like I did with the other one, but not quite as much, just to do the finishing touches. And obviously fill in areas I haven't, and do my under eyes. Which I really like the fact that I can get right into that corner there and really blend it in. So this isn't actually sticking to the sponge at all whatsoever. And like, this is actually really amazing. I seem to have used less product, but if anything, I feel like this side looks a lot better. I mean, in camera it doesn't look very much different, but in person, this side looks like I need to go over it with a powder brush, which is what I do normally anyway, just to blend in any finishing touches. Whereas this side kind of looks all blended in. Like, I don't think I would need to go over this side of my face. And obviously I've used less product, so yeah, it's a kind of a win-win situation. So I kind of thought I would like it because I liked the silicone sets they did, the brush sets. However, this is a slightly different material. Like, this is super squidgy. Like, it's still silicone, but it's so thick did not expect it to be that thick compared to the thinner silicone brushes. It's quite cool actually, I'm really liking it, and it's really cool to just play with because it feels so weird. So now I'm just going to bake my under eyes and put my powder on, and then I will come back to end the video. Now that I've put the rest of my face on, I'm just going to tell you a bit more about the sponge. So the sponge I feel has had a lot more of a... It's basically made my pores a lot less visible. You can't see it so much on the camera. If anything, this side actually looks better on camera, but in person, this side looks so much better because although I love this sponge, I've always had the thing of you can still see a few of my pores because my pores are quite large. I can't help that. So with this, I feel like this is giving the best coverage I've ever had. But with this, I actually feel like this side, you can't see hardly any of them, and it's blended so well, which I'm not used to. So I'm actually starting to prefer this. There's only two beauty blenders that I've ever gotten on with. The Real Techniques one was not for me. The orange one, you know, the typical one everybody has, that was not for me at all whatsoever. I couldn't use it, it just did not work. The Beauty Blender from B is the only other one I've gotten on with. That's the Superdrug's own brand, I believe. That one works just as well as this one, if, well, I was going to say if not as good as, but that means the same thing. It works just as well as this one. I just prefer this one because of the shape. I've got more of a handle to use on my face, basically. Whereas this one, I don't know, I think there's just plenty enough here. I think for stippling it's really good because obviously it doesn't necessarily push it into the holes as such and make them look kind of cakey. It just kind of glides it over and kind of has that nice kind of mattifying effect, I guess. Obviously it's not a fair test because it's not against another silicone brand, but this is just purely trying out this one because I've not had a full silicone one before, only ever the brush style one. So I do really like this sponge, and I think if you're starting out, this is a really good one to go for because it applies foundation so easily. So I would definitely highly recommend this actually. I hope you guys have enjoyed this mini first impressions, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye guys!